Hello everyone, welcome back to Chapter 1 channel. Today I'm going to talk about a movie called Unlocked. I hope you enjoy. Spoilers ahead. Nami, a happy, vivacious girl who works as a marketer for a startup company. She is a typical office worker who works hard at her job. In her spare time, she also assists at Cafe Maizi, her father's cafe. Nami is normally happy with her life and always finds joy in the little things. She is close to her best friend, Jong Yun-yo. One day, Nami loses her smartphone on the bus, and it's picked up by a stranger. In the following scene, we see this guy with her phone. Just then, a call from Yun-yo comes through. The guy answers, using a voice-changing app to make himself sound like a woman, tricking Yun-yo into thinking it's a girl who found the phone. He pretends to ask if the phone should be turned over to the police, and Yun-yo tells him to wait until she checks with Nami. She visits Nami's house, and together, they speak to the person who still seems to them like a woman. Nami tells them to drop off the phone at Cafe Maizi. Through the notifications on her phone and the information she has posted online, the stranger begins to discover everything there is to know about Nami. Nami has a lot of personal information easily accessible on social media, just like a lot of other people. In order to get knowledge for his own schemes, the man investigates her contacts, hobbies, and other specifics. But when the password prevents him from unlocking the phone, he becomes angry and smashes the screen. The focus then shifts to a crime scene where, after heavy rain on a mountain, a buried body has surfaced. Police officers Woo Ji-man and Kim Young-ho investigate, and they suspect one person, Ji-man's son. Years ago, Ji-man and his son had planted a tree near the location where the body was found. Evidence like plant food products, which Ji-man's son had used, was found near the body, almost as if he left deliberate clues. Ji-man is troubled, as his son left home 7 years ago but never changed his address. He recalls that his son wasn't capable of murder back then, although he might have been involved in fraud. Young-ho suggests that his son may now be working with dangerous people, and Ji-man starts to wonder if that could be true. Young-ho asks if Ji-man's son could still be in touch with his mother, but Ji-man explains that his son left without looking back and likely wouldn't be in contact. Still, Ji-man agrees to check for the sake of the investigation. While these two storylines might seem separate, they are actually connected. The boy who found Nami's phone on the bus is Jun-young, Ji-man's estranged son, who left his family 7 years ago after falling out with his father. Back at Cafe Maizi, Nami's colleague, Sung-woo, makes her a special drink called a plumade, which isn't on the menu but is something he makes just for her. Meanwhile, Jun-young, still using a female voice, calls Nami and tells her that her phone screen is broken, though we know he's the one who broke it. He says he's already sent it to be repaired and paid the bill, so Nami can pick it up at the repair shop. She goes to collect the phone at the address he provides, but things aren't as simple as they seem. Jun-young actually owns the repair shop where Nami goes to pick up her phone. While pretending to fix the broken screen, he secretly installs spyware on her phone and clones it, giving him full access to everything she does. Now, he can track all her activities, messages, and conversations. Unaware of this, Nami grabs her phone and walks away. Unaware that Jun-young is observing her every action, she continues about her day as usual. Jun-young goes to her father's cafe that night and orders a plumade, the special beverage her father makes for Nami. He knows everything about Nami, even though they have never met. She prepares it for him because he says he used to go the place frequently for the drink. Her co-worker Sung-woo observes their brief, informal talk and asks why she produced a drink that they don't typically sell. Sung-woo attempts to recall whether he has seen him before, but Nami dismisses it, claiming he is a regular. Nami lives alone, and when she returns home, Jun-young spends the entire night digging through her phone data. Meanwhile, Ji-man, Jun-young's father, finds out from his wife's phone that she has been secretly sending their son supplies, including food. He tracks down an address that might belong to Jun-young, as his son has been moving from place to place. The next morning, Nami goes about her routine, but Jun-young has already made detailed notes about her life from the information on her phone. He knows everything: where she lives, her door lock pin, her daily schedule, her job, her relationships, and even her secret Instagram account, where she sometimes complains about her boss. He keeps tabs on her constantly, adding her photo to his laptop, right next to a picture of a previous victim, now deceased, revealing that Jun-young is not just a stalker but a serial killer. Meanwhile, Nami's boss gives her a raise, recognizing her hard work and asking her to keep it confidential. As this happens, Jun-young sneaks into Nami's house to gather more information. At the same time, Ji-man is closing in, following the clues to find his son. He learns that Jun-young has a history of fraud and that he has changed addresses frequently. When Jimon finally makes it to Jun Young's house, he discovers unsettling notes about 8 different girls who had all been his victims. On the list, Nami is ranked 9th. The most recent victim of Jun Young was the girl whose body was discovered in the mountains. Additionally, Jimon discovers pictures of her last moments. However, Jun Young shows up at the house before he can collect additional evidence. When Jun Young notices Jimon, she diverts his attention and guides him out of the house long enough to destroy the last of the evidence. He flees with his twisted trophy, a backpack full of his victims' phones, notes, and personal belongings. Jun Young visits Sung Woo's cafe, presenting himself as a digital security agent using a fake professional ID. Aware that Nami is selling some CDs, he pretends to buy them and also sells her tickets to a match. He orders plumade, which Sung Woo serves him, but Sung Woo becomes suspicious of Jun Young, feeling uneasy around him. While driving Nami home, Sung Woo warns her to avoid Jun Young, explaining he has never seen him in the cafe before and remembers all his regular customers. Nami, however, dismisses his concerns. Meanwhile, Jun Young listens to their entire conversation. Jimon, investigating Jun Young's pattern, meets the mother of Jun Young's previous victim. She confirms that Jun Young uses the same tactics with each victim. He breaks their phone, learns their password, clones the phone, then monitors them while slowly getting closer. After killing his victims, he takes over their homes and identities, living off their money. Jun Young then hacks Sung Woo's phone by sending a fake message and installs spyware on it. He later attacks Sung Woo, trapping him in his own house and taking over his life. Meanwhile, Jun Young leaks confidential information to sabotage Nami's job, getting her fired. At the same time, heavy rain uncovers 7 bodies buried on the mountain, spreading fear and urgency in Jimon's investigation. Nami's life is falling apart, and she goes to report the cybercrime with her friend Yunyo. However, she's told she needs proof of the hacking, which only adds to her frustration. She receives a text from her dad, but the message was actually sent by Jun Young. When she tries to contact a friend in digital security, she learns that they're on vacation. Remembering that Jun Young claimed to work at a security firm, she reaches out to him for help. While holding Sung Woo captive, Jun Young reveals his manipulative methods, explaining how easily he controls people's lives through their phones. He meets with Nami, pretending to help, and plants the idea that her best friend Yunyo was the one who installed the spyware. Nami confronts Yunyo, who, upset by the accusation, sarcastically admits to it, leading to a misunderstanding and straining their friendship. Isolated from her friends, Nami, in a fit of anger, throws and breaks her phone. Reflecting on everything, Nami realizes that her troubles started when she got her phone fixed at a specific repair shop. Meanwhile, Jimon and Young Ho are desperate to catch Jun Young, as the discovery of the bodies has heightened fear. They track down his shop, but Jun Young destroys all evidence before they arrive. Nami also finds her way to the shop and learns from Jimon the truth about Jun Young, realizing he's not just a hacker but a killer. She checks with a digital security agency and confirms that Jun Young never worked there, exposing the full extent of his lies. The whole situation becomes clear to him, but there's still one crucial and terrifying thing left. We'll soon find out what it is. She devises a plan to capture him before someone else gets hurt. To do this, she pretends she doesn't know her phone has been hacked. She plans to lure him to her house under a false pretense, where Jimon will arrest him. She invites him over, and Jun Young arrives after a slight makeover. Jimon and Young Ho are hiding, waiting for him. Jun Young happens to be just outside and even notices Jimon, who is coming to arrest him. However, neither Jimon nor Young Ho recognizes him. Frustrated, Jun Young accuses them of harassing innocent people and calmly walks away. But the real question is, how could a father not recognize his son, who's been gone for only 7 years? The answer will be revealed later. Jimon and Young Ho then head to Nami's house, where she turns on her old phone and inserts her SIM card. They suggest she stay somewhere else for the night, so she decides to go to her father's house. Jimon and Young Ho drop her off at Sung Woo's house. Before leaving, they give her a card, and she writes on it that she will only communicate through texts. If she doesn't, it's a sign that something is wrong, and they should come immediately. Inside the house, Nami encounters Jun Young, who takes her hostage. Meanwhile, Young Ho gets a call informing him they've found Jun Young's body, and the DNA matches Jimon's. Now, they are utterly confused. Nami is forced by Jun Young to send Jimon a message stating that she is safe and will speak with him tomorrow. After that, he brings her to his father, who has been imprisoned in a bathtub. Jun Young ties Nami up and places her in the bathtub, threatening to drown him, giving the impression that her actions could kill her father. He intends to murder her later. He snaps a last picture of her, as he does with his other victims. Then he picks up the card they gave Nami earlier and strolls down the corridor. In reality, Nami had written no texts, only calls on the card because she suspected her second phone was also hacked. And indeed, when Jun Young visited her house, he hacked that phone too. As he's checking outside, Young Ho sneaks in, and Jun Young tries to kill him. But Jimon intervenes, catching Jun Young and beating him. Jimon then asks a shocking question: where is Jun Young? He's asking his own son where Jun Young is. Jun Young starts crying, insisting that he is Jun Young. Meanwhile, Young Ho rescues Nami and Sung Woo from the bathtub. Nami survives, but her father is unconscious. When Jimon opens a suitcase, the truth is finally revealed. There weren't just 8 victims, but 9. The killer had murdered the real Jun Young, Jimon's son, 7 years ago. The real Jun Young wasn't a bad person, he had just left home due to family issues and became the killer's first victim. The murderer then took Jun Young's identity, making everyone believe he was the killer. Jimon looks at his phone, seeing a picture of his real son's last moments, and the weight of the truth overwhelms him. He also discovers that the killer has information about his wife and that he's been impersonating Jun Young to keep communicating with her. Enraged, Jimon is on the verge of shooting him, but the killer manipulates him with his words, preventing him from pulling the trigger. In the end, Nami grabs Young Ho's gun and shoots the killer. The officer takes the weapon from her just as she notices her father has regained consciousness. Overcome with joy, she starts crying. Nami is then taken to the hospital to recover from the trauma. The police gather all the evidence, and it becomes clear that the killer found his victims online and had no true identity. Eventually, Nami returns to her life with her father and Yoon Yo, but she will always carry the fear that they might once again become targets of someone like him. This was the movie named Unlocked. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel for movies. Thank you for watching everyone. Take care.